Hi ladies and gentlemen, today's video is to give you a little bit more practice on distributive property. So do me a favor, go ahead and get a pencil, paper, go ahead and copy down these 6 problems. Try them on your own first and then go ahead and pause the video. Okay, the whole purpose of this video is for you to try these problems on your own, and then I will go ahead and go over each problem so you can check to see if you're getting it correct, or if you're not getting it correct and you made a mistake, hopefully I will be able to help you figure out where you are making that mistake. Alright, so go get a piece of paper if you haven't got one already. Go ahead and copy all 6 of these down. Pause the video. Try all the problems on your own. And then go ahead and hit play so you can see how you did. Alright, so go ahead and pause the video. Alright, so hopefully we're already done with solving all the problems. And now we are going to go over each of them so you can see how you did. Alright, so here we go. Problem number 1 is -3 times a quantity, -5f plus 2. First off, you want to make sure that you're writing it nice and neat. You're not cramming all of your numbers together. If you notice, I have a little bit of space in between each of them, each of the numbers. I've been doing this for a while, and one mistake I do see is the students cramming everything together, and then they can't read their own writing. Okay, so make sure you are leaving space in between each of them. All right, so if you remember, this is distributive property. What does distribute mean again? Awesome, you guys. It means for you to pass out, right? So you're going to be passing out this -3 to each term inside of the parentheses. I love to use colored markers or colored pencils to help me visualize what I am supposed to do. All right, so for the first 2, I will do it just like we did in organizer work, like we did in the last video. And then for the last 4, I will do it just another quick way if you're already getting used to your multiplication. All right, so -3 times, so we're going to do a -3 times a -5f, so that's this one here. Okay, so -3 times -5f, and then now -3 times a +2, so a -3 times a +2. Remember, for a +2, you don't necessarily have to put the plus sign. If you want to put the plus sign, you may, but anytime there is a number that does not have a sign in front of it, that means that it is a positive sign. Okay, so now we're just going to do our multiplication. Remember, if you don't feel that comfortable or you don't remember your multiplication sometimes, just take out a calculator, all right, and go ahead and punch in the numbers. You just got to make sure that you're punching it in correctly. Here we go. -3 times a -5 is going to give you 15f, and then a -3 times a +2 is going to give you a -6. Okay, so let's just double check. A -3 times a -5f is +15f, and then a -3 times a +2 gives us a -6. All right, so therefore for this one, this is our final answer. Okay. For number 2, you have 6 times 7 minus x. All right. So in this one, if you notice, some of you might be wondering, well, what number is here in front of x if I don't see anything? Okay, anytime you have a variable with no number in front of it, it always is a number 1, okay? Because how many x's do we have? 1. So therefore, it's a 1. In math, for some reason, we do not write the 1 all the time. Okay, I know it's confusing. That's why math is a little bit more challenging, but anytime you have a variable with no number in front of the variable, there is actually a 1. Okay, so like for example, this problem here, same thing. There's a C, there's no number right adjacent to it, right in front of it, to the left of the number, okay? So therefore, there's actually a 1 right here. And then if you look at this one here, same thing, okay? There's not a number to the left of it, so therefore there's actually a 1 right there. So now we're going to go ahead and just multiply and distribute the 6. All right, so 6 times 7, and then a positive 6. You can write a positive 6 times a negative 1x. All right, now let's just do our math. 6 times 7, good, you guys, 42. A positive 6 times a negative 1x is a negative 6x. Okay, a negative 6x. All right, look at my markers. They keep rolling. Stay still. I love my markers. They help everything be more vibrant, and it actually helps show. Maybe I'm just going to have to put it up here. That's better. Okay, I love how it actually helps and shows what I am doing. Okay, so if you have color pencils or you have markers, feel free to use them. It actually helps your learning and helps you understand the concept better. Okay, it actually is a strategy to help your brain understand the concepts better. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this one as our answer. All right, the next part I'm going to do a little bit quicker. These here, this part I'm not going to write. I'm just going to go ahead and multiply each of them so you can kind of see another way of doing it as well. So we have 4 times negative 3 minus c. All right. We're going to multiply 4 times a negative 3 and then a 4 times a negative c. Now what did I say is in front of any variable? To the left of the variable when you don't see anything, there is a 1. And it is right in between the negative sign and the c. Okay, it's in between. It's in the middle. All right, it does not go in front. It goes right in the middle between the negative and the c, or the minus sign and the c. So now we're just going to multiply. 4 times a negative 3 is a negative 12. And then a 4 times a negative 4c. I'm sorry, I give the answer, sorry. 4 times a negative 1c is a negative 4c. Okay? If you notice, I just did not write this step out. Sometimes when you get really good at knowing what to distribute, you do not have to write that step anymore because you already know exactly what you're supposed to distribute. The main thing is that you want to just really make sure that you are not forgetting to distribute the number to the last term. Okay, make sure you distribute them to them both. So 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 4 times negative 1c is negative 4c. Okay, and that is our answer. All right, number 4. You have negative 9 times 8v minus 5. All right. We're going to distribute the negative 9 to the 8v, and then the negative 9 to the negative 5. Okay, so let's just do our math. Negative 9 times 8v is negative 72v. And then a negative 9 times a negative 5 is a positive 45. Remember, a negative times a negative gives you a positive. And then 9 times 5 is 45. All right, the last two. All right, we have 2 times 6e plus 4. Okay. We're going to distribute the 2 to each term. Hopefully you did that when you did your work. So we have 2 times 6e is 12e. Sorry guys, my thing's moving a little bit. Okay, and then we have plus 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, we can kind of just double check. 2 times 6e, 12e. 2 times a positive 4 is a positive 8. So therefore, this one is our answer. Okay. And the last one, number 6. Hopefully you're getting them correct. Okay, and if you did make any mistakes, you just want to make sure that you're figuring out and you understand why you made those mistakes. This is number 4's answer, so you can see that. Okay. All right, the last one. We have 5 times g minus 5. Okay, remember what goes in front of the g if we don't see anything? Yes, very good. A 1. And remember, the 1 goes, it doesn't go to the right of the number, it goes on the left of the number. It goes in front of the letter. Okay, in front of the letter. So now we can go ahead and multiply. So 5 times 1g and then 5 times a negative 5. So 5 times 1g, whoops, sorry there. 5 times 1g is 5g, and then 5 times negative 5 is going to be a positive 25. Okay? And this is our final answer. All right, you guys, I always love to go back and just double check just to make sure I did my work correctly. You always want to make sure, like when you're taking your test or you're taking a quiz or you're even just practicing, you always want to go back and double check to make sure that you did them correct. All right, so negative 3 times a negative 5 is a 15, and then I have my F, which is correct. Negative 3 times 2, you get a negative 6. Awesome. All right, 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times a negative 1x. Remember, there was no variable. I'm sorry, there was no number in front of the variable, so therefore there was actually a 1 that was there. It's an invisible 1 that goes there. So I wrote it in here. And then 6 times a negative 1x gives you a negative 6x. Here, 4 times a negative 3 gives you a negative 12. And then you have 4 times a negative 1c. Again, we had to write in the number in front of the variable, which then gave you a negative 4c. The last one here, negative 9 times 8v gave you a negative 72v. And negative 9 times a negative 5 gives us a positive 45. Awesome. 2 times 6e gives us 12e. 2 times a positive 4 gives us a positive 8. And then we have 5 times 1g is 5g. And then 5 times, ooh, see, here we go. Here's a mistake. What should this be right here? Yeah, 5 times a negative 5. This should be a negative, okay? This should be, let me do it in color so we can see better. This should actually be a negative 25, okay? Because 5 times a negative 5 is a negative 25. See, this is why I always tell you to go back and double check your work. Because, you know, we're human, we make mistakes. We just got to go back and double check to make sure that we got them all correct. All right? So hopefully this has helped you understand the distributive property a little bit better. You're going to have a Kahoot game that you're going to be able to play, okay, to see how you're doing on your own, and then you will have another quiz. All right, guys, till next time, take care. I miss you, and like always, have a great day.